Ta-da-da. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to another live on Bridges of Light. Um, Whenever you are seeing me, anybody, please just write anything. Write a comment. Let me know you are there. We're gonna wait a few minutes for people to arrive. Now, let me just check on the phone if I am actually on. Um, okay, let's see. This evening, we are gonna be talking about the meaning of life. The title of the evening, let's say the theme of the evening is Does Life Has a Meaning After All? And as always, this is gonna be an inquiry, a discussion, and a sharing of ideas. Um, I see some people are connected. If you let me know you're there, don't be shy. Um, as always, I like this live to be alive, meaning to be interactive. If nobody writes anything, I'm just gonna start telling you what I believe about the meaning of life. If I believe that life has a meaning and what it could be, or if it hasn't got a meaning. Yeah, from my experience, uh, I have changed my opinion about the meaning of life. What I thought it was the meaning of it, or actually at the beginning until not too many years ago, I didn't even know what I was thinking about it. I didn't even know if I thought a life had a meaning or not. Now I know uh, that life has no meaning whatsoever and all the meanings. Life can have infinite meanings or none, according to who chooses to give it a particular meaning or not to give it any meaning at all. I'm going to tell you a story which illustrates quite clearly how we can choose to assign a meaning to anything that happens to us or not. Some of you may have heard it, some of you may not. It's the story of this man that was living with his son in the countryside, and they had one horse. And one day, his horse left, and all the neighbors, hello, Avalor, all the neighbors went to him and they told him, "Oh, we're really sorry. You're so unlucky. You know, the only horse you had is gone." And he looked at them and he only said, "Is it so? Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad." And in fact, about 2 weeks later, the horse came back with other 20 horses. So he ended up having 21 horses. Again, all the neighbors, hello Sylvia, all the neighbors went to him and told him, "Oh, you are so lucky, this is wonderful." And again, he looked at them and he said, "Is it so? Maybe it is wonderful, maybe it is not." Well, 2 weeks later, one of the horses kicked his son in his leg, so his son's leg got broken. The neighbors went to him and told him again, "Oh, you are so unlucky. This is terrible." He looked at them and he went, "Is it so? Maybe it's unluck, maybe not." 2 months later, the country went into war. And all the young boys were called to go to fight the war. But his son was spared because he had a broken leg. So you get a gesture of it. The man was, hello Rosie, was abstaining from assigning any meaning. He was being open to the infinite possibility. And when we do that, we allow our inner peace, our emotional state to be stable, to be serene, not to be altered by what is happening. Could any of you write down what you think is the meaning of life for you, if it has a meaning or if it does not have a meaning? I can tell you that before I got to inquire and discover and study and practice all the subject that we talk about on this group, I was assigning by default, and this is important, meaning unconsciously, negative meanings to almost everything that was happening to me. And if someone had asked me what is the meaning of life, I would have probably not known. I would have known what to answer. But if I was thinking about it, I would have said, life has got a negative meaning. Life doesn't mean anything good for me. Life is difficult. For me, life was challenging. Life was hard. Mainly because of experiences I had. But I do believe that culturally, we are all very much conditioned to acquire more negative meanings to what happens to us than positive ones. Hello, Mel. Oh, she's writing something. I love. Now we're talking. So let me just finish what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when I realized that I could choose the meaning that I could assign to anything that was happening to me, I started to notice that if I was reacting automatically in a negative way to something that was happening to me, the meaning that I was assigning, it was an unconscious one. It was one that I hadn't really chosen. It was given to me growing up. Now that I know how it works, when I find myself emotionally upset, I ask myself, what is the meaning I am assigning to what has happened? And if it is a negative one, I intentionally see the situation from a different perspective, and the meaning from a different angles has to change. Let's say, for example, this happened to me many years ago. I was in a job and I went for a promotion. I didn't get the promotion. I was upset. I assigned a negative meaning to what has happened. I didn't do like the wise man did. I didn't say, oh, so let's see what happened. I was actually angry, although I wasn't aware of the blessing in disguise. Because a few months later, I could apply for part-time, which I wanted, and I could have not applied and gotten the part-time if I'd gotten the promotion. So it took me actually a few months during which I was actually upset and angry because I had interiorized a negative meaning. But then I realized that I was lucky. So now I know that when anything happens, my attitude is actually the one that will determine if something positive or negative will come to me, because I will resonate with my emotional reaction to what's happening to something of the same kind, meaning of the same kind of my emotional reaction. Mel is saying, hi Luca, The meaning of life for me is happiness, to continue to create my own and help others to find theirs. Yes, that's a perfect meaning, I would say, to live joyfully for you and for others. Avalon say, to testing the pleasure of ascension for the humanity. Yes, I agree. Yes. Uh, and I think and I feel that everybody in this group is assigning the same meanings, which is to live happily. Like, for example, my main aim in life, um, it is to be happy, but primarily actually to be serene. To me, peace. To me, to assign a meaning that allowed me to be at peace, at least, it's it's what I always aim for. It is so my meaning. It's always the one that allows me to have a peaceful reaction, or actually a peaceful response to what is happening. Then, of course, if I can be happy or ecstatic, that's all the better, because as we know, the more our emotional state, emotional vibration, our vibration is higher, the more we are actually elevating the consciousness of the planet and of everybody else. Like Avalor, you're saying. Sylvia said, for me, the meaning of life is to discover my true self and be able to help others to find theirs. Yes. If there's one thing that we are all here to do, is to be more of who we truly are, meaning to be always who we can truly be. And who we truly are is infinite potential, I like to call it. As our spirit, our essence can experience anything it chooses to experience. And being one with everybody else, if we truly want to experience who we truly are, it's important to realize that we are one cell in a huge universal body. It's a very, very complex system, our universe. Graziella said, wonderful to see you. Thank you very much. I love the smile of your eyes. Thank you, Graziella. Hello, Alina. Hello, Helen. Great to see you. Agreed. To be. Yes. I would like to point out something about meanings. Meanings are something intellectual, okay? When we think about meanings, we are thinking about thoughts. We are thinking about, oh, I think that this means A, B, C. Let's say, for example, I think that somebody stealing in a shop means that we could give a meaning, say that he is a thief, or maybe he's hungry, maybe he's upset, so he wants revenge, or anything could be, right? For example, let's do this. Any of you write down, I'm gonna do something, and you write down what you think is happening, what this means to you. Now, some of you could be thinking, well, I'm waiting for you to write. Some of you could have been thinking that I was scared, I was shocked, I was afraid. Some of you, oh my God, I'm afraid, exactly, Avalon. Surprised, yes, Helen, but I could be surprised. I could have just won the lottery, okay? I saw that I have a winning ticket and I won £3 million, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay? Now, in life, very quickly, we meet people, situation, or even in ourselves, something happens and we are very quick and telling ourselves, oh, this means whatever. Oh no, yes. But when we consider that we ultimately don't really know what is happening outside from ourselves, because everything just is and everything just happens, we then can choose the meaning we attribute. But what I wanted to say when I say that the meanings are not just mental is that the meaning that we have acquired growing up, we acquired them because we use them, and we still use them unconsciously to get something that we all need, that is actually the fuel of life, which is love. According to the background we had and to the system where we grew up, which is our family system. So our family system probably had some, habitually, they were attributing some meanings to life. Maybe some meanings about money, some meanings about relationship, some meanings about other people. And we acquired them growing up. And also what happened to us determine the meanings that we give about things. But the reason why we acquired those meaning and we made them ours in family, but then we did the same also at school. When we were at school, there was the group of peer that we were going to school with, then the group of friends outside of school, and then maybe our culture, and maybe even here in this group. Every group has got their meaning, has got their rules, okay, spoken and unspoken. When we are in a group, consciously or unconsciously, to be liked and to be loved, we are prone to integrate their meanings about things, because we want to be part of the group. We want to be part of our family. We want to be part of our peers, okay? This is why, because we want to be loved. This is why it's very difficult when we grow up, even when we understand that we can actually choose to attribute any meaning we want to anything, to other people, to life, to relationships, to whatever. But it's difficult because we know that all it takes, it would be, okay, he or she behaved in a certain way. They told me what they told me. Let's say they told me, I don't want to go to the cinema with you. And I got upset. But I know that I could tell myself, actually, there's nothing wrong with it. I could interpret it in a different way. But we don't do it easily because we would feel guilty. Every time we assign a meaning to something that is different from what is conventionally being shared by the group we are in, which is the family, the school, and culturally, we feel guilty. So we unconsciously know that to attribute a meaning which is drastically different from the meaning everybody else attributed generates an emotion unconsciously that makes it very difficult for us to express this ability. Avalor say feelings of belonging, absolutely difficult to get rid of. Yes, Avalor, that's the point. Everything seems easy at a mind level, at a cognitive level, because we think, yes, of course, I can assign any meaning, but when I become autonomous in my thinking and in my feeling, I become lonely. Now, this could be the best thing you could ever do because you become autonomous, you free yourself, but it means that you get thrown out from the village. You get thrown out from maybe your family, the village, the city you grow up, and maybe the entire human culture. And at a very human level, that is a very, very difficult thing to do. The analogy, the metaphor is the people that they live in the cave, in ignorance, let's say, they believe, like humanity does, they believe in false assumption, they believe in duality, they believe that we are all separate, that we have to compete, that the survival of the fittest is what makes the world go round. So when we think in a different way, when we assign different meanings from the one that they assign, consciously or even unconsciously, there is not a resonance anymore energetically between us and them. And what happens that, yes, we may go outside, and that's great. That's what I invite people to do, but it's scary. We go out of the cave, and the light is very bright. The light is blinding. So you have to deal with a very blinding light, which you are not used to, but also there's not many people outside of the cave. This moment in time, there's always more and more and more and more people. And I haven't been in this group for that long, but for whatever I have felt, I see, and the little that I've been following bits and pieces of other lives, this is what people are doing here. People are telling the world, hey, reality, it's different from what we thought. Why? Because the meaning we culturally were or still are assigning to what happened can be changed. But actually, the meaning that we can give now is not just a mental meaning, it's a reality. We are all one. We are all one organism. And because we are aware of that, that could give us the strength to know that it is just an idea, it is just a meaning. It doesn't matter if you or somebody else think and believe and is attached to a different meaning than mine. It doesn't matter. It's just another part of me that thinks and believes something else, and that's it. And I respect it. But when we are attached to our meaning because we think we are separate, what do? What we do now? We fight. We go to war because of idea. People get angry, and nobody has actually gone into their home and disturbed their physical well-being. And this is due to the fact that they simply, these two people or two group of people, are assigning different meanings to life, to people, to relationships. But these two meanings, they're not just intellectual. These two different meanings that they generate emotions, strong emotions. And when somebody is taken by a strong emotion, can think clearly, can be present and act out of this emotion. That's why, even though it seems just an intellectual exercise to give different meanings to things, it's a very, very deep process. I will say yes out of the box. Yes. Hello, Annalisa. Hello. You know, there's a meditation that could allow us to open our mind. Let's do it now, actually, and also because we go from our mind to our body, to our essence, and maybe to our hearts. If you're not driving, place yourself in a comfortable position, and even you can close your eyes if you want, but even without closing your eyes, focus, concentrate, follow your breath, your breathing. That's it. Breathe intentionally. If you do this properly, if you breathe intentionally, you definitely are thinking less than you would be normally thinking. And if you truly concentrate on your breath, you can have no thoughts, because you can't breathe consciously and think at the same time. And then, while you do that, look at something in front of you and choose to give it the name you choose for it to have. Just because. For example, in front of me here, I've got this little box, and I am looking at it, and I am saying to it, Bababoo. Yes, Bababoo. This could have been called Bababoo, but we decided to call, I don't even know, little box. Okay? Hello, ciao Guglielmo. Hello, Guglielmo. How are you? This glass, okay? I look at it and I say, Tarapu. For me now, he is Tarapu. It's not a glass anymore. If you do this, even just few minutes every now and then, you train your mind to be intentionally thinking outside the box and outside the system. What does that mean? That means that your mind, and that's why I always bring it back to mind, because we know our soul, our essence. I truly believe that we have to only feel it. We know who we are. She wants to be expressed. But what is not allowing our essence, our soul, our spirit to express itself? It's our brain, our mind, because it's fixed, because it's used to assign fixed meanings to things. But if we do this, that they seem silly exercises every now and then, but kids do that all the time. Okay, this is a key. Well, this now for me is barabu, barabu. So, my mind, when it's used to, because it's done it a few times before, to see something and tell me what it is, but then thinking, oh, it could be something else, it opens the space. Yes, rewrite our space. It opens the space for us to choose, to have free will. To me, that is real free will. But watch this space. We do not have free will until we expand our thinking and until we understand that our mind, it's like a computer, has been programmed since birth. But now we can choose to reprogram it in any way, shape, or form as we want it. But we have to exercise this power. It doesn't happen automatically, and it is not enough to read a book. It is not enough to go to a seminar unless the book of the seminar or the speaker is telling us to do something. Okay? So here the invite Joe Dispenza, I don't know. I know who he is, but I don't know very well what he does in reality. So the point is that if you choose that you give the meaning to anything that you choose to give, simply because, like Mel was writing, because you want to be happy and you want others to be happy, you have got it. That is magic at its highest. To me, magic, it's not mystical, it's not magical, it's very easy. Magic is to be able to change the way we feel and we perceive something or somebody, and in so doing, so we have to definitely attribute a different meaning, and then our emotional response changes, and you know what? We change the whole field. We change the whole energy, the whole vibration. That is magic. And all we have done, we have used our mental ability. Magic is done by the mind. It is the one that does the magic, that creates. And of course, black magic, negative magic, it's what we are all trained to do. Most of the people on the planet nowadays are trained to, and I was one of them. That's why I'm so passionate about this subject. I was trained to complain and complain. I could have gone on and on and on about anything and everything that wasn't going the way I wanted to go, and I was assigning negative meaning to everything. and I was generating a force field around me which was resonating with negative situations. I was having accidents, I was having arguments. Now is the opposite. Now I very often say to myself, I don't have a clue, and you know what, look, I don't even care what is the meaning of this. We will find out, and ultimately, I don't think there is a meaning. Or if I want to, if I'm emotionally charged, I think, okay, now I'm going to choose to attribute a positive meaning. And then that's alchemy, that's magic as well. You transform anxiety into passion, the same energy you using in a different way. Hello, Stefania. Yes, great Joe Dispenza, but also Luca, thank you, but Joe Dispenza is really great. And something that I would like to point out, again, linking the mind to the heart and to the spirit. We are emanating with our emotions, we emanate vibrations. Our heart is a very, very strong electromagnetic device. Okay? Our mind is more of an electric device. Our mind gives out electrical impulse. But our heart gives out more electromagnetic impulse. In fact, our emotions, you can feel them, right? Our emotions normally, they either draw ourselves or others to us, or they push away. Our heart is 50,000 times, if I'm not wrong, more powerful electromagnetically than our brain. That's why if we think, so to speak, if we make decisions with our heart, our decisions are more powerful. If we make decisions with our head, our signals are weaker. Although they are both always functioning at the same time. So my invitation is, there isn't a better or a worse, a more or less powerful, because unless they are aligned, unless our art, so the emotional meaning that we give is aligned with the mental meaning that we give to whatever happens or to a relationship, we will not experience the relationship or the circumstance as totally and as fully and as joyfully as we would otherwise. And then, of course, there's also our essence, our spirit, which my theory is that our spirit, our essence, is always there. It's always perfect, and it always know that that is part of the all, is whole and perfect and complete. But we can experience it more when our intellectual meaning are of a certain quality and are chosen intentionally by us, by me. And also when they are aligned with our emotions. In other words, I'll give you an example, it's easier. Some people have problems in life to live joyfully. When I see them, when I know them, I can see that they are not authentically living, okay? They're not shiny. There's not that brightness, that spark. Why? Simply because the meanings they are assigning to life, and maybe these people, by the way, they may be living quite normal life. Maybe they have stable jobs, stable relationships, everything is in the norm. From a human, hello Gaetano, from a human point of view, they have everything as it should be. But they're not happy, they're not totally fulfilled. And often the reason is that they have not chosen the meaning that they assigned to their relationship, to their job, to their life. They have acquired this meaning to belong to the family and to be liked by the family and by the culture. They have acquired it from other people, and they haven't actually questioned themselves. Is this the meaning that I would attribute? Which it could be exactly the same. But two people, in fact, they could have almost the same life, but one of them is really roaring, is happy, is living life to the fullest. And maybe the meanings that he or she attributes to his life or her life, they're actually the same to the other person. But he has exercised free will, the choice of sitting down and realize and reflecting upon, what does this mean to me? What does Luca think and believe about this? But if we don't do this, you know what happens? That I would attribute the meaning that I absorbed from my father, from my mother, from my friends. And in different situations, in fact, many people, they don't know who they are. They are lost because they have to conform. Their meanings they attribute in one circle, in one system, let's say the peer group, is different from the school system and the home system. And that's when it gets really tricky, because they haven't actually stopped and asked themselves, what is the meaning that I would give to this situation? You see, this doesn't happen just because. This doesn't happen automatically. It's something we have to do. It's something that sometimes other life pushes us for us to do that, or we can just choose to do it. So my invitation for you from now on is to do that. When you're confronting with something or somebody, just take a moment, breathe, check in, listen to your body, see how you feel, and then you can then go up in your brain and ask yourself, how do I feel about this? What does this mean to me? And then you can maybe come up with the answer, well, this doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't matter, I may find out. Or you may attribute a meaning straight away, but that meaning will be yours. And it may be the same to the one you would have attributed unconsciously, but it doesn't matter, you made it yours. You own it now. It belongs to you, not to the system. Or you may attribute a different one. Mel says, I was watching something recently where they were saying our heart can recognize and predict a thing happening a split second before it does. Yes, absolutely, Mel. They have done experiments where they were showing people some pictures, and some pictures, they were very, very drastically different. Meaning some of them, they may have had a romantic scene, like two people hugging, and other ones, some harsh images, like maybe some starving children, and some of them sunset, and some of them again war. And these people, they were all hooked up to an electroencephalogram machine and cardiogram machine, meaning they were detecting the electromagnetic activity of the brain and of the heart. And yes, Mel, even before the subject of this case of the studies were shown the picture, even before they were seeing it, their also an emotional system was reacting to what they would have seen. That is amazing. That is how much we are actually connected to, we can call it the knowing field, and we are part of this field. And in this field, time and space do not exist. We would be in a dimension, and it's actually regarded as the eternal moment of now, when past, present, and future are just one thing. And you just reminded me of something that I have just read again about. There are I think there are in the Earth pole, the North Pole and the South Pole of the Earth, there are some devices that are connected to some satellites. And these satellites, what do? They detect and they read the electromagnetic field and the electromagnetic output of the planet. They realized that the collective emotional charge of the planet was being picked up by this instrument because 4 minutes, I think it was, after September the 11th, so 4 minutes after the collision of the airplane in the tower, Twin Towers, which means, and people were watching live what was happening. That was a worldwide shock. People were actually reacting to it. And the readings of these satellites were off the chart. So they were wondering what is going on. And then they actually they could see that it was correlated to what was happening. So our emotions, our heart, it is emanating electromagnetic signals that actually they're so powerful that they can actually be picked up out in space. So if that is not a proof that we are all one and we are all connected, I don't know what it would be. And Gaetano says, you're, okay. Yes. Evelyn say the field of possibility. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Evelyn say, can you imagine the power of a global meditation? Yes, the power of a global meditation it's immense. It's absolutely huge. Because whenever we are collectively generating an emotion and so emanating a vibration, we are extremely, extremely powerful. They have done, in fact, experiment. I think it was in Dallas. I can't remember when. It's quite a few years ago. Oh, God. Aspetta un attimo. Io ero convinto. Ti chiamo. Aspetta un attimo. È staccato. Non mi sa. Ok, can anybody see me here? It's okay. You are frozen. Yes, I don't know what's happening. Okay, let me just see. Non ho toccato niente. Hello, you don't. Okay. Okay, guarda. Now, can everybody video? Okay. Can everybody see me? Can everybody hear me? Now, I have the screen says we are sorry, we are having some problems in conducting this video. I don't know what's happening to you're on, but can you see me? Because I can't see myself. I can only see a writing saying, I'm sorry, we are encountering some technical problems, and we are trying, yeah, in reproducing the video. Yes, okay, okay. Funny, I can't see myself. I can just see a writing saying that. I'm sorry. Okay, and hear you. Okay, thank you. I just can't see myself. I just say sorry. We have some problems to broadcasting the video. Yes. Yes, the global meditation. Well, Gaetano knows a lot about it. He's doing an amazing job in organizing these global meditations. I am actually thinking that I would like every time I do a live, even just few minutes at the beginning, maybe even at the end, but especially at the beginning, to center ourselves all together and to connect. To connect first with our inner being, our inner wisdom, with our essence, and that automatically goes out and connects with others. And that could happen if others are not doing it. We are raising their vibrational state. We are doing something for them. We are allowing them to vibrate at a different frequency. If others, like when Gaetano does the global meditation, if others are intentionally doing the same, meaning choosing to vibrate at a higher frequency simply by centering themselves, following the breathing and quieting their mind, they are extremely powerful. So these two vibrations actually become exponentially more powerful. Because if we are raising our vibration, yes, we are allowing others to vibrate at the different frequencies, but we need more, it's more of an effort for us, because it's almost as if lifting a dead weight in a way, because they're not doing anything to come up with us. But if two of us are together, it's in the Bible, they say two of us in the name of God can, they're very powerful, is because exactly we are tapping intentionally into this universal intelligence. And that's what this group is doing. It's allowing the universal, the planetary consciousness to raise, to expand. And all we need to do, as if it was a little thing to do, but what we need to do is to reach what is called critical mass, meaning we don't need 51% of the entire planet population to make the big shift. It's enough for a certain amount of people to have the shift to take place. Again, I would abstain from giving a meaning to anything, although I have heard quite a few people saying that, and why not? It could be a legitimate meaning, I think, like, by the way, all meanings that people assign to things, if that's what they believe, why not? That's the meaning they give. But some people think that what has been happening now, globally, it is part of this shift in consciousness. I have heard, and I don't know if it's accurate or not, but why not? I always hear what people say, and I think, well, why not? It could be true. That, when there was a year, I can't remember exactly what year, that we thought that we were going to wake up and something would have changed immediately. Well, it doesn't happen like that. It's actually, there is a window, or actually few years, where everything shifts. But whatever we are seeing now could well be the consequence of these vibrational different level that we have reached. At a personal level, we could talk of chemicalization. Have you ever experienced that when you have had some new insights about anything, but normally it's about something personal, you change the meaning you were attributed about to something or to yourself or somebody, and you had this shift, which it wasn't just a cognitive mental shift or emotional shift, but also the shift was so uh, great that your body reacted to it, and maybe not in a pleasant way. Maybe you got eczema, maybe you got fatigued for a few days, maybe your stomach reacted, and you know that you could tell that it wasn't just a physical reaction to something that happened to you on a physical level. That could have been the product of a chemicalization. Your vibrational state of being shifted so much that your body reacted like that. Who knows? Maybe since we are part of a human system, of a planetary system, maybe what's happening is also part of this chemicalization. I don't know. Again, it could be or it could not be. Celia says all is fine. Yes, I do trust as well that all is fine at the end. Again, we could choose to think that everything is wrong, or everything is fine, or everything is just as it is. I normally now choose to believe that everything is perfect. And perfect to me is neutral, meaning life, it's made of a very interwoven number of cause and effect. And everything is perfect. Like I'm here now doing and saying whatever, and you're here now experiencing this, and other people are experiencing something else, because I don't know why, but everything is perfect. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. Everything else, any other meaning, would give stress to my system, would not allow me to be present and to accept what is already happening anyway. Because our negative emotions and our stress normally are created by the meaning which says things should be different from what they are. So if we assign a meaning that it's not what is actually happening, which is what it should be happening, we suffer. Graziella say, I say, yeah, okay. Yes. Emotion hormones. Yes. Yes. Emotions are generated and also alter hormones. And for an emotions and for our body to process the hormones and the chemicals in the body, it takes time. That is why we could have an insight, we could have, let's say, a revelation, we could have this mental upgrade and this shift, but it takes time for the body to register it and to change its hormones and its emotions. Emotions are stored in the body. Even our physical body react and as a memory, and memory of our emotions. To give you a practical example, that is why sometimes people are in love, and then one of them or both of them, they fell out of love. They actually realize something, or something happens, and they tell themselves, you are not the person for me. Okay, so their mind has already changed their attitude. The mind attitude is changed, but it's not instant. The understanding or that information to the body and to the emotional, to the emotions, to emotional body. That's why there's always a window that when there's conflict, when you say, people say, oh, she or he is not the one for me, but there's nothing I can do. I'm so drawn to him or her. Because patience, because it takes a moment. If that's truly what you believe, if that's truly your new meaning, wait. It takes time for your hormones, your emotions, for your body to shift and to align with your mind. Like we were saying before, the electrical signal are instant. The electromagnetic functioning of the heart is ingrained in our whole system. We don't just change like this. That's why we get attached to people, even if we don't want to. That's normal. If we spend a lot of time with somebody and then suddenly we don't see that person anymore, we miss that person, don't we? We feel at a physical level, there's something missing. Yes, because but maybe our mind is prepared for it. We see, but it's okay, it's I'm gone, I'm not with them, whatever. But our body is still there. It's still with that person. Their hormones, their emotions, they're still going on inside of us. Can you still see me and hear me? Because I can see myself, and I can't read anything. But are you still there, guys? Let's do, if you can see me, I don't know. But let's do this. We go like 3-4 minutes. Let's all center and focus on our breathing. And then imagine and feel that from your chest, from your heart, a ball of energy, a ball of light is forming. Thank you. And now feel and visualize this light, this energy extending outside from you. And imagine reaching all of us and everybody else on the planet. And then feel and visualize this energy going beyond the planet and out in the universe, to the moon, beyond the moon, beyond the sun, everywhere, to the edges of the universe. And if you remember, do this. It doesn't have to take long. Of course, every day when you wake up, of course, before going to bed, if you have time, but also anytime you are encountering a new situation, like you go from home out, or you get, before you get off out from your car, it only takes like even just like 30 seconds or even. And definitely whenever you're meeting somebody else, just to center yourself, to come from a space of being centered in your heart, in your body, and not so much in your brain. You may then be more present energetically. It's all unconscious. You don't have to do anything else. But you are there in a different space, in a different state, and you are creating then a different state and a different space, because we are conditioning the space we inhabit. Consciously or unconsciously, this happens anyway. But when we consciously and intentionally, we choose to be centered, be present, we give to the opportunity for others as well to do the same. And that's when I believe what we call miracles happen. That's when people surprise us. That's when situations turn out to be different from what maybe we were thinking they would have been. And we go from maybe assigning a meaning which wasn't very positive to assigning a meaning which we like. Or we just don't give a meaning and we're totally present. I thank you very, very much. And I'm going to see you on the next live, which I believe is going to be on Saturday, again at 7 UK time. But watch this space, because apparently sometimes I get the timing wrong. But as far as I know, we're going to see each other. But we'll let you know anyway, on Saturday at 7 p.m. Ciao. Thank you very much for being here.